Hello everyone, you are welcome to this class. So in this class, we want to look at simultaneous equation, that is simultaneous linear equations. So under this, we look at the meaning of simultaneous equations, then we look at the methods for calculating simultaneous linear equations, then we look at examples. Now, when we talk about simultaneous equations, we are talking about two equations with two variables. Two equations with how many variables? Two variables. That is equations with two unknown. For example, mind you, we can have three equations with three variables as well. It also refers to as simultaneous equation. But for the purpose of this video, we are only looking at two equations with two variables. So for example, you have 2x plus 3y equals to 2, then x minus 4y equals to 6. So if you look at these two equations, the first equation has two variables, that is two unknown, which is x and y. So also the second equation has two variables, which is also x and y. So this type of equation is what refers to as what? Simultaneous equations. Now, having known this, the next is that what are the methods of solving this kind of equations? So we have different kind of methods for solving this type of equations. So we have what we call methods for solving simultaneous equations. So methods. So the first one is substitution method. We have substitution method, right? Then we have elimination method. And we also have graphical method. So when you now move to a higher level, so graphical method, we also have a matrix method of solving simultaneous equations. So, but for the purpose of this class, we're going to be looking at these two aspects first. By the time we treat graph, so we look at graphical methods of solving simultaneous equations. By the time we were looking at matrices, we also look at matrix method of solving simultaneous equation. So we're going to start with the first one, which is a substitution method. So let's look at examples on how to do that. Substitution method. So to use substitution method, so we are going to follow this process, these steps for us to use this substitution method. Step is that we are going to pick one of the equations. We make one of the variables the subject of the equation. So if we like, you pick equation 1 or you pick the equation 2. Then we substitute whatever we arrived at here into the what? Into the second equation. Then the next one is that we solve the resulting equation to obtain one variable. Then the final one is that we're going to find the other variable by substituting your answer into the original equation. So let's look at this example. So for this example, we want to make use of substitution method. Now I'll tell you when to use substitution method and when not to use it. So we can use it, it depends on you. But the best part is that you can determine the best method to use for a particular question. Now, one of the best way to know that you're going to use substitution method is that one of the variables, that is one of the unknown, must have a coefficient of 1. So if x has a coefficient of 1, so we make x the subject of the formula. If y has coefficient of 1, we can also make y the subject of the formula, but it doesn't matter. We're still going to look at example that none of the variables has coefficient of what? 1. So if you look at this one, if you want to solve this solution, if you want to solve it, we have x plus 6y equals to minus 2. This is equation 1, right? Then the second one is 3x plus 2y equals to what? Equals to 10. This is equation what? Equation 2. Now if you look at equation 1, the coefficient of x, what's the meaning of coefficient? Coefficient is the number, is the number beside a variable that is multiplying it. So if you look at x here, so what is beside x here is 1, that is this is 1x. But the coefficient of y here is plus 6. Coefficient of x here is 3. Coefficient of y here is plus 2. So having known this, you notice that in equation 1, it is only x that has the coefficient of what? 1. So it's going to be very easier for us to make x subject of formula in equation 1. So if you make x subject of formula in equation 2, you still get the same answer, but you are going to get something like fraction. So which if you are not very confident, you might make mistake in the process. So this is what we're going to do. So the first step is that make one of the variable the subject of the what? Equation. So our advice, you can make use of any one, but our advice goes for equation 1 because it has the coefficient of x in equation 1 is what? 1. So therefore we say make x the subject of equation in what? In 1. That is in 1 here. So that means x will be equal to minus 2 minus 6y. So this will form equation what? 3. So that is the step 1. So the step 3 is that substitute 1, that is substitute this into the second equation. So we are now going to, we made this from equation 1. So this will now go back to equation 2. We substitute this in equation 2. So we now say substitute equation 3 into what? Equation 2. So where is equation 2? Let's write it down. This is 3x plus 2y, right, equals to 10. So wherever we see x, this is what we're going to put there. We're going to put this. So that means we're going to have 3 multiplied by minus 2 minus 6y, right? We close it, plus what? 2y equals to what? Equals to 10. I hope I'm making sense. So from here now, so that is okay. Now we can follow it. So we now open the bracket. So we're going to have 3 times minus 2 will give us minus 6. 3 times minus 6y will give us minus 18y plus 2y equals to 10. So from here now, we solve. You notice what you're going to notice here is that we only have one unknown now. It has led to linear equation. So we're going to have this will be what? Minus 16y equals to 10. This will go to the other side. It will be plus what? Plus 6. So we are going to have minus 16y equals to what? 16. So we'll divide both sides by minus 16 by minus 16. So this cancels this. Therefore, y equals to what? Minus 1. So that is the first one. So the next is that solve the resulting equation. We have solved this, which we just did now. So after that, to obtain one variable. Now we have obtained variable y. So it remains the variable what? Variable x. So find the other variable by substituting your answer into the other original what? Equation. Where is the original equation? These are the two original equations, right? But we can decide to substitute equation 3 to get the value of y because we have already made x the subject of formula of the equation to be what in our equation what? 3. So we can try to solve the value of y into what? Into equation 3. So what am I going to say? I will just write substitute. I'll now write substitute y equals to minus 1 into equation what? Equation 3. Which is equation 3? This is equation 3. So that means x equals to minus 2 minus 6y. So that means x equals to minus 2 minus. So y is what? 6 times minus 1. And this will give us minus 2 plus 6. And this gives us what? 4. That means the value of our x equals what? 4. So we can confirm if our answer is right or wrong. So we've known the value of x and we've also known the value of what? Y. So what next now is for us to find if the value of x is correct and if the value of y is correct. So we want to take it from here. So that means x is equal to 4 and y equals to minus 1. So we now put the value, we put the value x is 4. So I want to make use of this one. We want to check now. Check. So I'm using this one. X plus 6y must be equal to what? Minus 2. What is value of x? 4. Right? Plus 6. What's value of y? Minus 1. Times minus 1. It must give me this. So let's check. So this is minus 2. So this will be 4 minus 6 equals to minus 2. So you can see this will be minus 2 equals to what? Minus 2. That means our answer is very, very correct. I hope this is very clear. So we're going to look at other examples now for further understanding. Example 2, we want to solve this using substitution method again. So for us to solve this, we do the same thing, right? So this is equation 1, 2x minus 4y equals to 17. This is equation 1. And equation 2 is 4x minus y equals to 6. Equation what? Equation 2, right? So what we're going to have here, if you look at equation 1, none of the variable has 1 as its coefficient. While in equation 2, we have one of the variables to be what? 1, and which is what? Y. So because we don't have anything beside y here, so we can just say make y the subject of the equation in what? In 2. That is in equation 2. So that means we want to make y the subject of formula. But what we can see here is that this y here is negative. So we want to make it positive, and we want it to stand alone. So we have to take this to the other side. It should be positive, then bring this to this place. So therefore we're going to have 4x. This is plus 6 to become what? Minus 6. Equals to this minus y will go to the other side and become what? Y. That is plus. So therefore we can say that y equals to 4x minus 6, equation what? Equation 3. I hope this is very clear. So now we use equation 2 to get equation 3. So we now substitute into what? The next equation, which is what? Equation 1. Don't make a mistake. If you substitute back into equation 1, we are still going to get this one. You don't get the answer. So we substitute back into equation 1. So we now say substitute equation 3 into what? Into 1. So where is equation 1? This is 2x minus 4y equals to 17. So we now put, wherever we see y, we put this there. So this we're going to have 2x minus 4. So y is what? 4x minus 6. So into bracket 4x minus 6. Everything equals to what? 17. So we solve for this now. So we open the bracket. We have 2x. So this time this will be minus 16x. Minus times minus is plus. 4 times 6 is 24, equals to what? 17. So you can see that we only have one variable. So it's easier for us to find the variable. So in that case, we need to have 2x minus 16x will give us minus 14x. Then equals to 17 minus 24. Right? This will be minus 14x. So this minus this gives what? That's going to be minus 7. So that gives minus 7. Alright? So 17 minus 24, that's minus 7. I hope that's very clear. So what we're going to do next is we divide both sides by what? Minus 14. Minus 14 by minus 14. So this cancels this. Therefore, x minus cancel minus 7 here 1, 7 here 2. That is going to be what? 1 all over 2. So we know the value of x now. So we now substitute the value of x into the value of what? Y here. So we now say substitute. I hope I'm making sense. So we now say substitute x equals to 1 over 2 in which equation? It's going to be equation 3. Equation 3. Right? So that means we're going to have equation 3y, which is equal to 4x minus 6. And that means y equals to 4 multiplied by the value of x, which is 1 over 2 minus 6. So 2 here 1, 2 here 2. That's going to give us 2 minus 6, which is equal to what? Minus 4. So we can as well check this. If our answer is correct or not. So don't forget, so we can check it in equation 2 here. And equation 2 is 4x minus y equals to what? Equal to 6. We can check for our answer. Which means the value of x is this. X is half when y is what? Minus 4. So let's check for it. So we want to see if we're going to get this or not. So that means 4 multiplied by x, which is 1 over 2 minus 6 minus y, which is minus 4 equals to what? 6. 2 we cancel 2 here, that is 2. Then minus times minus, that is plus, that is 2 plus 4, and that gives what? 6. So I hope that is very clear. So look at one more example before we end the video. If you look at example 3 here, let's write out the equations. So you see the first equation here. So we need to rearrange this. So we take this to the other side. So we have 4x minus 3y equals to this minus 23 becomes 23 here. This is equation what? Equation 1. Right? So this is equation 2. 2x minus 5y equals to what? 36. Equation what? Equation 2. Now let's look at this. what they ask us to use substitution method to solve this. So, and you notice that none of the variables has one as its coefficient. So what are we going to do? We can still make use of it, but we're going to have fraction. So we just look at it. So if you look at this, okay, I can make any of the two equations, any of the variables in any of the equations to be what? To be the subject of the equation. So I'll just say make, I want to make, use equation 2. So make x the subject of the equation, right? In equation what? Equation 2. Right, so what is equation 2? We have 2x minus 5y equals to 36. So we want to make x the subject of the formula. So let's take it to the other side. We have 2x equals to 36 plus 5y. That's what we're going to have, right? So we're going to have that. So the next stage, it is x that we want to start. Want it to stand alone. So what is beside the x is what? 2. So we divide both sides by what? 2. So that we're going to have 2x divided by 2 equals to 36 plus 5y divided by what? Divided by 2. So 2 will cancel 2, right? So that means x equals to 36 plus 5y all over 2. This will become what? Equation what? Equation 3. How am I making sense? So we know we made equation 3 from equation 2. We now substitute this in equation what? 1. We now substitute 3 into what? Into 1. So we write out 1, that is 4x minus 3y equals 23. So wherever we see x, this is what we're going to put. So in that case, we're going to have 4 into brackets x, which is 36 plus 5y all over 2, alright, minus 3y equals what? 23. So 2 here 1, 2 here 2. That means we have 2 into brackets 36 plus what? 5y minus 3y equals what? 23. So we open the bracket. This is going to give us 72. 2 times 36 is 72 plus 5 times 2, that is 10y minus 3y equals to what? 23. So we can now see that we only have one variable left, which is y. So we can solve this. This is going to give us 10 minus 3, that is going to be 7y equals to 23 minus 72. Are you with me? So we're going to have this. So let's clean this. So we're going to have 7y equals to 23 minus 72. That gives us minus 49, right? So it is what we're looking for. We divide both sides by 7 by 7. 7 cancels 7. So y equals to minus 7. Is that clear? So from here now, we can then substitute this into equation 3 because x is already the subject of formula here. Just substitute y equals to minus 7 in 3. So in 3, so therefore we're going to have x equal to 36 plus 5y all over 2. So that is 36 plus 5 times minus 7 all over what? 2. So that is 36. That's going to be minus, plus times minus, that's going to be 35. I hope I'm making sense. This is minus 7. So minus times plus is minus. 5 times 7 is 35 all over 2. So this will give us 36 minus 35 is 1 all over 2. So that means the value of x is 1 all over 2. So let's try to confirm the answer. So let's confirm the answer. X, the value of x is 1 over 2 and y is what? Minus 7. So the equation, let's pick one of the equations and see if we're going to get the same thing. So we have, let's pick this one, 4x minus 3y equals to what? 23. So let's use this. So wherever we see x, we put 1 over 2. That is 4 times 1 all over 2 minus 3 times y, which is minus 7, equals to 23. So this cancel this, that gives 2, right? Plus 2 times minus 3 times minus 7, that's minus plus 21. So 2 plus 21 equals to what? 23, which is correct. So which means our answer is what? Very much what? Correct. So that is that on the substitution method of solving simultaneous linear equations. So in our next class, we're going to look at uh, elimination method of solving simultaneous equation. So after that, we then look at another thing. So thank you for your attention. So if you are new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe and make sure you turn on your notification bell. So anytime I release video like this, you'll be able to get the notification of it. And if you find this video useful and helpful, don't forget to give us a very big thumb up and make sure you share this video with your loved ones. So bye for now.